big game. So, as I mentioned just now, far more individual on the T side, especially if you take control of mid and have those peaks towards connector, have those peaks towards B short, and try and get some early frags and try and get some openings towards the B or A bomb side.
Yeah, but interesting to see also, what sort of executes we can expect to see. Is it going to be just the usual hard and fast? We're going to drop a smoke on towards CT, throw one on towards stairs and jungle. Are they going to be a little bit more creative? We're going to see one actually on that bomb spot. I think that's a smoke that...
Or for the pistol.
In terms of the pistol, we actually see... I've seen quite a lot of smokes now get utilized on these pistols where we can see usually one, but potentially two. And that bomb spot smoke is actually one that is becoming more and more prevalent, especially within the lower echelons of CS. And personally, I'm a big fan.
It's efficient. The reason it's efficient is you can smoke off the whole of CT. You don't have to use the smoke towards jungle as well, because you can have the two flashes with the smoke. So you smoke off the center of site, have the players push out of ramp, flash jungle, flash CT. Players will face towards jungle, try and get some kills on the flash CTs there. But instead, we're going to be seeing the B contact, I believe.
Yeah, just going to go for that flat Kevlar. So well and truly contact off the back of that. Just going to be looking for that opening pick, and from there, use that as an ability to try and spiral out of control on towards that B site.
Such a good nade.
That nade, so much damage to be inflicted, but is it actually going to be any stopping power? So far, the answer is going to be no. They are waiting to bite the bullet off the back of that. Initial frags will be connected. It's going to be the CT side coming up trumps in every single manner. Eventually, it will be that quick 2 for 2 to be claimed by Aussie and MCK, but how far is that going to stretch? As the CT side that already set themselves up for the retake. Look at how aggressive Max is being, but it's working out for him. A quick headshot on towards Jacob. Aussie, yet again, trying to respond. He's been good so far, but can he keep it up as Lazar? The quick snap on towards the head of MCK. Max, the shutdown Aussie. And there you have it. We have ourselves our pissed around victors. Endpoint. They get themselves a solid start.
5 sets of armor there for CAZ on the T side. So that nade, while it would have been amazing if one of those players from CAZ had no armor, unfortunately, only did about 30 to 40 damage on 2 of those players. So wasn't the most impactful, as we saw 5 headshots there from Endpoint, and such a fast retake as well. Imi got so much information. As soon as that nade hit, he just spotted those players. He fell back, played back towards side, didn't give away his frag early on, made it nice and safe, and the rotations came in, and Endpoint won the afterplant. But the bomb did go down, so we'll be seeing the full save on CAZ. Leading into that 3rd round, we'll be seeing the buy round.
For CAZ as well, just looking to barrage their way on towards the site, and they are walking into one hell of a crosshair as it is going to be Max to spray on down. Lazar, we're there to be the aiding factor with MCK. Going to keep on shoulder peeking. Well, there's only so many times you can get away with doing the tango. And eventually Lazar just pushes up close and personal, utilizes the Glock.
But he did buy the FAMAS, so he will not have an AWP leading to this round. $50 short, unfortunately for him. No AWP on the CT side, and he will be playing towards mid. He is the primary AWP for Endpoint, so can CAZ take advantage of this? And they might even wide face into him, knowing that he's got the rifle, not the scout. So will they play aggressive towards mid, or will we see some smokes towards A?
Would be pretty excited to see these smokes. Of course, we talked about them in a pistol round context, but in standard gun rounds, of course, they are important tools when it comes down to actually setting yourselves up for that vector of attack when it comes down to an aforementioned site. But for now, it looks like it is going to be a lot of aggression being placed on towards Palace, a triple man stack. Now, you don't see this every single day
as well,
but it could net them something, as MCK going to go for the straight up balls to the wall style of face, gets him that initial pick on towards Aaron. Max will try and hold things off, but it's going to be the constant repeat that catches him off guard. He just doesn't realize that they are just this close and personal. The smoke on CT, it's going to be late, which actually nets Aussie an opportunity to find that headshot. And Endpoint, well, that's pretty much all they can do at this point. If they try and go aggressive, every single angle is going to be covered, but it is going to be the dunk, which does open things up somewhat. But even then, Imi, him to push out right here, if he goes towards the lower portion of stairs, which is currently his game plan, he's going to peek, gets himself the information, but the quick trade is inevitable as Jacob, the man to do the job.
Has the kit but no smoke, so we can't just stick the defuse, and Jacob now will get the headshot. Ezio does get the dink on towards Jacob, but he will win the duel as he has got the AK. So we saw the trades come out for CAZ. Yes, Mighty Max smokes off the left side, triple boxes, refaces to the right side, gets one kill, but gets instantly traded. This is the problem for Endpoint. The trades have been so good for CAZ so far. We saw on the previous map as well. They always go 1 for 1, and that favors the T's heavily. Endpoint with SMGs and the FAMAS there and the retake as well. Not the best guns you want there. CAZ, they don't have the AWP, so they opt for the full smokes towards A. They can't play nice and slow and play for those picks. Instead, they play the close range duels and they win it with the trades.
Aaron looking to go aggressive, not only because he's got the pistol, but if he even has a slight inkling there is going to be a full smoke setup, getting up close and personal is one surefire way to try and have as big of an impact as physically possible. CAZ opting for still a bit of a 2-man setup when it comes down to Palace. Now, this is always 50-50 for me, because as much as I like the support, it's a very limiting position unless you actually really can push on out and actually make use of it in terms of that upper portion of shadow and actually getting yourself down under as well to clear it out.
Not just that, but once the smokes come in as well, that Palace position will be so important to drop down and try and kill the player on the balcony. But Aaron here holding a bit of an off angle here, playing close towards the ramp, but we'll get one. Can he get through? Just get a second headshot, but we'll be traded out. Dream does take him down, and as well, another nice headshot for him. 2 kills for him, 2 entries from ramp. 3 versus 3. Can Endpoint win the retake?
Laza going to be looking to hold across with this AWP. He doesn't realize he's
Lucky.
looking towards 2 players. He's so close right down to the wire, but still eventually gets that shot on towards Ozzy. Now looking to hold the angle ever so patiently in the flick. Well, not even quite that will catch on towards Dream, and looks like, well, those Dreams, they have been caught as Endpoint. They're going to get knocked down a peg again as they get themselves back up with this defuse.
The bomb was planted for ramp, so I'm not sure which player. Was it Dream that pushed through the jungle there? Yeah, I think it was Dream. So pushes through with the flash. The flash does not connect towards Laza. Laza has 3 pickings there, takes that player down. Smoke fades, takes the second player there towards bench. I mean, the bomb is planted for ramp. Just fall back ramp and play that after plant.
Well, that was really kind of the big point for me, and something I was trying to heavily allude to, was that without Laza being able to go huge in that spot, every other factor around that site was painting a complete different picture, pointing the arrow towards CAZ.
I mean, if Laza goes down there, or even goes 1 for 1, if they traded that kill and went 1 for 1, the bomb would have been planted for connector and ramp, so it would have been so hard for Endpoint to face, to win that round if CAZ decided not to face.
Either way, we get ourselves into our 5th round. We've seen the aftermath, and that is, well, a triple Tech-9 setup for CAZ. Now, Tech-9s, they proved to be a pivotal factor of the last month overall on Cobblestone for all of these players. But in context for CAZ in this round, it's so important they can try and make this work, because their economy, it is going to show those early signs. If they can reclaim it now, Endpoint, they're the ones going to be licking their wounds. It's going to be some early presence to be garnered in pretty much the entire portion of it.
See as well how both these teams, both these rifles are playing. Tech-9s are playing towards, you know, the B apps and whatnot, and they have both their AKs going B short, peeking towards connector, trying to find a entry. They're going to be going up B short, so Ezio could be caught off guard here.
Looking to see if Ezio can get as much done as we originally expect, as he is going to go for the starting shot. Actually not really going to be able to do too much. Finds 1 frag, but that 1-for-1 trade, it's actually perfect for CAZ. It gets himself not only on the site, but Endpoint now have to make the decision. Do we go quick and aggressive with this retake? They are going to go for it, but it's just going to set them up for these peaks of trades. That is all that's currently just wrecking them apart. Aaron and Laza, their last 2 remaining. Aaron goes to the individual peak, nets himself the frag back on towards Dreams, keeping it nice and competitive, but this crossfire from Jacob is going to stop this one before it really can even get going. As now Laza a 1v2.
Just don't face him, and he can't really win this with the AWP. Close range duels to be so unfortunate for him, and he will go down. The headshot coming up from MCK, and the 1-for-1 trades. Ezio needed to find that pick on towards short. If he did get that, could have got the 1 kill there. Flash short, get that kill towards B-Apps, and he would have gone 1-for-2 trade. That would have been so good for them. But unfortunately for him, the trades have been so good for CAZ so far, and they do take the site, and they do take that round. And leading into this one, they will go for the force bite. Pistols, armor, smokes, and sets of nades. Kit as well onto Emmy, so they can play retake if they desire so. Dream, they're trying to see if he can get the early pick towards B.
It's going to be Dream to do exactly what we expect. Get that initial pick. Max to try and be a bit more piercing over towards connector and find the frag for a shot. We'll look to eventually do a little bit more, but Ozzy is going to be the man to end his days. It will be that trade. Trades being a pretty pivotal factor for this D side. They've been stepping up in the last couple of rounds and actually pulling them off, and if they can keep this up, we are looking at a very strong start from them on this T side. But again, context in this round, it comes down to minimizing losses.
1-man lead as well for CAZ, and the pistols onto Endpoint side. I mean, they do have full HP, low HP on 2 of those players, MCK and Roma. Only 4 and 17, but Dream does give away his position. Roma here to back him up as well. 1 minute on the clock, so they can still go back towards mid, try to get a pick. Instead, they'll do the mollies. Can Imi find a frag here and make this a 3 versus 3?
If he can find at least one, that's a win, let alone the second low HP players, and it is going to happen. We'll net it on towards Roma, but is that actually going to be enough as MCK finds the quick trade quicker than we even originally predicted? And Aaron and Laza, 2 players that have been in this exact spot before. And again, it's that same pick-based factor that comes back to haunt them.
Laza last alive with the Deagle, trying to play for some exits. Not really much chance of him winning this round, but if he can find 1 or 2 kills, instead we'll go down to 3-3, and now Endpoint will be on the harsh reset. We could be looking at now potentially 4-3. The lead now for CAZ as Endpoint won the pistol, but they lost the gun rounds. I mean, finally Endpoint win a pistol. Lost 5 in a row. 6th time lucky. They do take that pistol round, and 3-3. Opting for the full save, so we'll be forfeiting this unless something crazy can happen. And Dream will get the first pick towards A. He will spot 2 more players, so he can give information to the big heavy connector.
Ozzy just going to be looking to create a bit of a mobile bloodbath as the Molotov, albeit a little late. Roma deciding to give Ozzy a bit of a love bite and punish him from that late Molotov, but nonetheless it should be nice and clean for the most part. There's only 1 frag eventually to be claimed by Endpoint. Of course, the second was that cheeky team kill. But it is going to be that 4-3, and for me that was expected. We weren't really going to be seeing anything too crazy. We have seen some nice, eco rounds, win up against buy rounds, but it's such a tough one, especially on Mirage. This is the round we're waiting to see. This 8th
I
round
want
is
to see
so
aggression. I
important.
want to see some CT aggression, especially from Luzza. He needs to find an opening pick here for Endpoint. Can they make this a 4 versus 5? I mean, even though we've seen 4 versus 5 in the favor of Endpoint, CAZ are so good with their trades and they're so good in the after plants as well. They don't overface. They play it safe, and actually it's going to be a Max peeking towards Connector. He will take down Ozzy. So the aggression has finally worked for Endpoint.
And to be honest, though, you look towards Endpoint right now, and this is just them kind of now taking a backward step. They don't want to go aggressive off the back of them having a man advantage. They've already picked it up, so why try and make a play at this point? Just wait for CAZ to walk into your crosshair. The one man that could be caught could be Max, as he is standing right on the perch of stairs. Jacob going to peek on through right around the shroud of that smoke. There's going to be a smoke to be popped towards ramp as well, and Aaron looking to go aggressive off the back of that forces the hand of Dream, and one eventually will lead him to a grave. And CAZ, they have themselves an opportunity, but it is one that is rapidly dwindling now as a 3 versus 4, and I find myself more back drawn towards this map. Because CAZ, they have no gained ground, there is no traction for them to really be able to make a push, which is why we're seeing them begin to retrace their steps, head back over towards this A site, because where else is it for them to head?
But it will be a 2-2 setup as well for the CTs. They're going to be playing 2 players close towards B and 2 players towards A. Aaron playing close ramp there, and then Luzza watching Palace and Spotting Connector. So, CAZ, they've regrouped 2 players together and the 1 player looking towards Whorehouse. If he can find an entry towards jungle, or have a late backstab towards A site, if they can go 1 for 1 here, there's a chance they can win this.
Aaron pushing ever so close right to the edge of this one is very, very smart, because Jacob is just not quite going to expect it. Gives them the jump, they find the first, a quick trade will be connected. Roma, the man to find the headshot. And then how far is it going to extend? MZK, an interesting way to look about, but it is going to do exactly what it needed to do, which is cash off Ezio.
Backstab.
The backstab.
And now it can be planted from ramp up. Roma gets
CT
caught off
peak.
guard, and now Luzza can hide and reface towards stairs. Doesn't quite get the chance to get that flick, and the bomb is down in a position where he won't be able to retrieve and plant in time. So he wants to die after time, and he will. So doesn't, get 0 cash for that round. Unfortunately for their Roma, slightly overfacing that. Didn't really mean to do that. Slight mistake, but if they had planted for connector there, that could have been a CAZ round.
It could have been completely different if they just went for that original plant, but they had a second thought. Something in the back of their minds told them, let's go for something a little different, and that caused them in a bit of a rough spot, as now we are looking at the 9th round, 4-4. So by all means, not terrible, especially when you have to look at these guys right now. It's pretty much a level playing field. Utility, it's mediocre on both sides. We're seeing kind of, for the most part, 3 players really carrying the rest of the team in that regard. Anything could happen. It comes down to sheer setups. Now, Endpoint, we talked about them aggression. As much as they were a little aggressive in the early portion, it didn't really feel like they committed to it. So that's something I'm kind of looking towards this time around. Some actual proper planned out aggression where it isn't just CAZ going aggressive in themselves and Endpoint just almost holding for it, expecting that sort of level of counterplay.
We saw Max pushing towards connector, but that was solo. It wasn't team oriented. It might not be repeatable. But more of a default for Endpoint, and actually CAZ here taking control of mid. And this is what I mentioned. Once you have control of mid, this is where you get the AWP, and you want him to try and find the openings. Can he get a pick towards jungle? Can he get the pick towards connector or be short? And if he can, try and get the opening onto the bomb site and try and win the round that way. Max though, the smoke will fade. Will he catch out Jacob off guard? That's the question.
Certainly something to watch towards Jacob. He's been pretty strong at getting these lurks, but this time around, Max is going to end his day, shut him down a peg, and then looks back towards window. And so smart from Max, because not only does he find 1, makes it to 2. MCK tries to really make it work, but they are just getting consistently pushed on over. And that is going to send them over the line to Molotov. Force Roma to have to readjust them from there. He might get himself a bomb plant, but he's in a 1v3.
Has a smoke though, so he can smoke himself off here. If he can get away, try and isolate some 1 versus 1. This is winnable, but we'll face him. Does go down to Mighty Max. So, such a great round there. The really important, impactful 3k there for Mighty Max. Gets those players, kills those players towards connector. Expects the boost, peeks towards window, takes the player down. Obviously taking the player as well towards connector, so completely weakens that attack for CAZ and makes it so difficult for CAZ to win the round when there's no backstab from Jacob. We saw what happened on Cobblestone. Jacob was so important to win those rounds for CAZ when the late lurks came out and opened up the bomb sites.
Yeah, certainly proving to at least be not as efficient as he was in the previous map, but it is still, I'd say, early days, 5-4, keeping things nice and close. It's going to be an aggressive peak to come in from this AWP, and
there's no need for that when you're versus pistol.
That's kind of what I want to kind of get at right now. Is there really any net gain from going for that peak when you're up against what is going to be either flat pistols or upgraded pistols? And when we are going to really have to remember, these are upgraded Tech 9s on Roma and Jacob, and they have some utility in their back pocket. This actually makes it possible, because if they take deep mid control, get themselves the AWP, we're looking at CAZ with upgraded Tech 9s and an AWP.
Yeah, I think the AWP could have been dropped towards underpass as well, but obviously they're scared about playing Whorehouse or playing in connector, trying to salvage, not salvage, but save that gun and not allow the T's to get it. Because if they get the AWP, it's so hard for Endpoint to not give away an opening pick onto one of those bomb sites. Trying to retake mid, they do know that there's 2 T players here. They just need to get the information and then fall back.
Well, you talk about that AWP being an underpass, it has been collected. Endpoint, they did try and at least put some sort of pressure down to stop it from happening, but unfortunately it wasn't quite enough. And overall, this makes this much more of a doable prospect for CAZ now. I'm excited to see what their game plan is going to be, as it is going to be a smoke down towards the tip of connector. JKM just going to be lurking in the shadows with this AWP, and it feels like his bet right now is that Endpoint are going to push, which means that when we see CAZ begin to get their way on towards this B site, he's relying on either the slow peak that he's pulling off right now into connector, or towards the latter portion, waiting for that rotate. 30 seconds, it's a slow number, and with a double setup on towards the B site does make it a little bit more difficult. That's why Jacob is now starting to help, and if he gets this long shot, so many the timing is just completely destroying him there, gets the repeat on towards Emmy, so nonetheless we'll be able to shut things down. But now we're coming down to 15 seconds, they need to be able to trade this one out on towards Ezio, and single-handedly finds himself two, looking for a third, going to be going for these consistent sprays, and no one is there to stop him. Aaron to find himself another frag, and will fly on him from window, and does the job, so CAZ, they had a chance. Yeah,
but they didn't take the AWP, they couldn't pick the AWP up in time, and unfortunately for them, there's only 30 seconds on the clock there. Jacob on that B short lurk, he managed just to get the kill on Mighty Max, but if he hit that first shot, it would have been so different. Players could have came out of BX faster, but the thing is, as you're playing the off angle towards Edward, it was so unexpected. Gets 3 kills there, two important ones as he kills the player that's jumping in BX, and then kills Jacob on that reface with the AWP.
Yeah, the value I was looking at with that AWP would have been just holding that connector push, waiting for the rotate, but it doesn't quite happen, and it does go for a bit more of a different snare in the way they approach the round, but nonetheless, they get themselves punished. That unpredictable angle is what really comes back to haunt them.
But there's no AWP here on the T side, so even if they take control of mid, it's going to be so hard for them to find the opening pick. I mean, we might see them take control of mid, have a play in connector, then go back towards A, and try and do smokes A and have a backstab lurk towards connector. Lazar here holding the line here, doesn't want to let them have that map control though.
I do like this angle, it does give him an elevated spot to stare on down, but it's a similar sort of gun battle taking place with Max, and I don't like that angle in itself. That's a more difficult one, especially when you're with a rifle, because you're pretty much asking for trouble and relying on either this push coming out and you being smart and hitting that first shot, but in the same regard, hoping there is no AWP presence up towards that palace area, which of course, Endpoint, if they do have a solid read on economy, will know. But in the same regard, anything can happen as Max is going to be looking to hold this one off, playing much more tightly into the corner now. We'll try and make the best of it. Lazar to find the pick on towards MTK, now looking to hold, will eventually miss the shot, but his teammate is going to be there to do the work nonetheless. But Ozzy, he's been able to bring things back in the past. He's doing it again, looking for a third. We'll be able to find it, but it's not quite far enough as Ezio going to shut him down.
The thing is that Max couldn't watch Palace, so I feel like that player should have peeked out from Palace a bit earlier. As soon as he knew that Max was under so much pressure there, and watching ramp, and Lazar that had to peek towards connector and peek towards Palace. I mean, could have been bad timing for Lazar, could have caught Lazar off guard and taken him down towards Ticket Booth and maybe opened up that A round for CAZ. But Max there holding the line. Once he gets flash, he hides, refaces with another flash from his teammate. Lazar there whiffing the flick, doesn't quite get the opening pick, but there's no armor on this T, so it's not really the end of the world, as Endpoint are most likely going to be picking up this round.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything too unbreakable on the CP side. They should just be having this one like a nice, fairly stride in the parts, to be honest. Lazar pretty much being given a field day in terms of
this is easy pickings. Does reface and Dream will take him down with that decoy, does get the nice headshot, but as I've just mentioned before, CAZ here trying to get the bomb down or try and get some guns out of the CT side, and potentially looking at 8-4, leading into the next gun round. CAZ, they might opt to go towards smokes A. Taking control of mid and finding those picks towards the bomb sites hasn't been working for them, so we might see something a bit faster coming up than playing as a group as 5, as their trades so far have been so good. I mean, just keep playing off the trades. Don't play the 1v1s, play the trades, try and do smokes towards A, try and get something like that.
Well, you set the groundwork for them, but are they actually going to excel? Pupils trying to impress the teacher, perhaps. As for now, it is going to be us ticking down the clock, coming down to 45 seconds, so we'll begin to have to see some sort of maneuvement coming out from the CAZ side. Yes, they're on the back foot, but why sit around and do nothing? They need to make a play. It's going to be the boost, but Max, he's clocked onto this one. He already sprays on through so low and eventually gets himself the frag straight through that smoke, just more than enough to pierce through and deny any sort of attempt of CAZ to get anything done. As now it is MCK, and well, a 1v4 when he's still stuck in towards mid, with nothing being done from jungle, it's not going to happen. We'll get knocked down a peg, and we find ourselves looking at the doubled up position for Endpoint now. They've gone down hard, and it's worked out for them. 8-4 is going to be the scoreline. CAZ, they get to try and respond.
I'd like to see some smokes towards A, because you want to be playing those close range duels. We saw the first buy round from CAZ. They did opt to do the same setup, and actually, 3 towards A. They could fake this as well. They're probably just going to have that player, Jacob. He's always been lurking, so he could be lurking underpass and playing more of a default setup there. 4 smokes A, 1 player lurking in underpass, trying to get the pick towards connector and make it so hard for Endpoint to win that round, especially when they don't have control of connector. They could even plant for Jacob as well if he wants to hide all that time.
I mean, Looking down towards Jacob, trying to see if he can get any sort of information. He will.
That's so
Jacob,
important.
he tries to go for it. In terms of utility usage, but it's going to be a frag that really does pry open the round now for the CT side. Is Lazza going to get somewhat affected by timing? Throws an nade just as the cross begins to really take form. But Max, he's really the man to watch here as he's up towards Shadow, and he can pretty much hold this cross, looking for these quick one-taps. Will be able to drop the bomb. The trade looks like it is going to be quick to follow. Aaron straight through the smoke, being so rapid about the way he goes about it, but will net himself a frag nonetheless, and that is perfect for the CT side because we're back at another 4v2. And this time, CAZ, they have themselves some ground to be gained, but I'm kind of all eyes towards this bomb. They're trying to get close to the crosses. Well, they're just going to be beautifully held. Endpoint making a masterpiece out of the round, and CAZ struggling to get close.
Yeah, the money as well for CAZ. They still can do the buy, and obviously MCK can drop the AWP and go no head armor, no utility, and they could be playing towards mid and try to get those picks, but instead they will go 5 rifles. Maybe a fast B play here. Smoke top mid, try and keep Lazza in mid and go for a fast B set play, but could also see a B split. Instead, no, it will be 5 going towards B, and Lazza here, he is the smoke top mid, so he will be peeking towards mid, peeking towards connect. He won't be going for that fast rotate B.
Yeah, it does take a little bit of pressure off the side of CAZ, but in the same sort of point, we've seen this double man CT set off this B site pretty much annihilate any pushes with just these unpredictable angles. Now, looking at this isn't completely off the record craziness in terms of a CT side on B, but it is angles that CAZ potentially aren't going to check. They've done it before. I wouldn't be surprised if that really does begin to take hold, especially now when you have to add into the mix that Lazza has rotated over. He's kind of stretching himself a little thin between mid. Smoke is going to be missed by Max, but it still has itself a merit nonetheless. But right now for CAZ, they have themselves a setup, but I'm still a little bit worried about it.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is as well, Lazza isn't peeking towards B now. He has left B apps. He is watching for that window push, as we saw that CAZ did do that a few times. I believe it was 2, so was looking for that aggression towards window, but instead it will be up fast, up B short. Can they find the early picker and get the site, or will they win the trades? And actually the first pick will go in favour of the T's. It's not refrag, but actually another player will go down. Dream will take down Ezio. No trades for the CT side, and they might just save this. Save this, we've got 9 rounds already, play for the 10-5. But that early frag onto Jacob, they could go for this.
Yeah, it looks like just off the back of that initial frag, they are going to try and make things work. Certainly interesting decisions being made by Endpoint in terms of going for the individual peaks on the initial hold, but now we're hoping for a bit more team play as they're trying to make this retake work. But again, it's just a solo push down through short with no support coming in from market. I mean, Max is almost going to be led to his straight up and almost expected death. As Aaron, he will find himself a frag, but even then it's going to be one he packs up in his sack and runs to the hills as there is nothing Endpoint can do. They have to run on away. And CAZ, they get themselves around, but I still want to stress, I look at those setups and go, if Endpoint didn't rely on just 2 players on that site going if these individual peaks, they tried to play off of each other much better, that could have been a different story.
It could have been as well, and you saw what happened. As soon as Max started on B shot, those 2 players in kitchen just instantly fell back. I mean, they didn't want to go for that 2 versus 4, and opting for that save. And they will have the buy now into this round, so they will be playing for the 10-5. Did win the pistol as well, so great play there for Empire on this half. And if they can get this final round, make it 10-5, but if CAZ get the 9-6, if they win their pistol, make it 1-1 in the pistols, we could be looking at a 9-9 scoreline, and it's going to be in the favour of CAZ if they are on that CT side. They've been playing phenomenally so far, but this is Endpoint's map pick, so on their T side they will have strats, they will have things that they've prepared for and planned for. So this round, that 5 rifles again for CAZ. It worked from last time. Will they decide to play for that execute towards one of the sites and play off the trades and play off the opening picks?
Looks like for now it is just going to be the early round sort of concepts where they just look to explore for some information, throw out a couple of nades here and there, try and bait the response of Endpoint. But in terms of overall game plan, we could see them potentially try and put some pressure down towards short, head towards that B site, looking at the amount of pressure they're putting in towards apps currently. But one thing that's really been known about CAZ, they have no problems with just kind of diving on down and changing things up on the fly. Now, there have been times where it really has been drastically wrong, but in the same sort of regard, it's damage that we've done. And talking about damage, Imi, what a way to start things off. Now looking for a second, and there really is not much explanation for how he was even able to net that. Now Ezio going to give himself just another frag that should have been traded out way quicker, but nonetheless Lazza with the AWP finds himself to flick on towards Roma. MCK will find that trade, trading being such a pivotal factor of this map. But even then, he's in a 1v3. I wouldn't place a bet on this guy.
Max dies with it.
Tough on Max is going to be tough, but the double keep from short should get to win this one.
Wide face a bit too far there, unfortunately for him, and walks into the crosshair, both Aaron and Imi, and they will spray him down. It's going to be 10-5, but great showing for Empire. They did win the pistol as well, so they've won 7 rifle rounds there. They played it phenomenally. The retakes, CAZ were getting the bomb down. They were getting the bomb. The bomb was being planted and the retakes were happening and the afterplant was happening. But the problem is, CAZ, they kept losing players early. And we saw what happened when they didn't lose players early and they got those picks. They did win that round. Endpoint, they're playing phenomenally there, getting those picks and playing very well. We saw what happened. CAZ were winning the rifle rounds. Max started playing aggressive and the picks started going in favour of Endpoint. As soon as the picks went in favour of Endpoint, so did the game. And now the pistol round coming out, 5 players outrun.
MCK going to be tapping away, trying to go back to the old faithful, but it is going to just lead him to a 1-4 point where Lazar looking to really carry this one over as he will catch off Jacob, enabling this one to be much more fateful for this T side as Max just shoulder peeking over towards the CT side. But even then, is it going to lead to anything? The answer is going to be a quick and decisive yes. The headshot on towards Dream. MCK will eventually respond, but is it going to be quick enough as it is that 2v3? They're coming in still from that one-pronged attack of that CT position. It's been one that Emmy more than happy and more than comfortable to peek. MCK peeking around this angle, bit by bit, very surgical in the way he's approaching this. He's going to find himself a very nice one-tap, a second on towards Emmy, and he's actually making this one much more contestable. This is doable. He doesn't quite have a kit, but he's found himself 4 frags. He's going to be darting around the place trying to pick it up. He will obtain it. He's going to be sticking this one. Lazar trying to decide if he's going to face it.
Lazar wins that. Well played. Doesn't go for the face. Doesn't want to give away his frag. Waits for the fuse. MCK has to stick it because it's hardly any time left. Does get the kit, but Lazar does win that round. Well played from him. And it's going to be both pistols going in favor of Endpoint. And for once, the pistols have gone in their favor. We've seen what happened now. 11-5. As soon as the pistols come in, they don't lose that 6-round deficit. They don't have to fight against those 4 spies. They have to fight against when they're on the full eco. Instead, it's the other team on the full eco. CAZ now will be forcing. Obviously, MCK and Dream not opting to buy armor, so that could be a double op setup coming out from them, or they could just be starting to play for nades and utility.
It's going to be certainly interesting to see what option they do go for, of course, with that platter or two when it comes down to nades and utility, or that eventual longer range setup. But for now, we have to see what they can at least deliver with what they've got, at least in this round, which they do have some Kevlar, so that can always bring in a bit more of a different element and one that can present a bit of an upset potential. But it's a straw, and it's one that is very far-fetched, as Jacob is going to begin to make this slow but ever so clawing push up through mid. Should be able to catch off Imi. The peak will come on in, but the trade very pleasantly found, and Max really making quick work of it. In my eyes right now, they're drawn towards this B side, and for very obvious reasons. The T side, they are going to be leading the charge, and Roma himself the CZ, finds himself the first, looking for a quick one-tap on the second, won't quite be able to find the third, but Dream there with the Deagle. Well, he's going to secure it, and Ozzy with the off angle.
That changes everything. That actually changes everything. The force buy winning for CAZ. 6-11, and now it's going to be Endpoint. They're going to have to force now as their money is so low, and if CAZ can win this, make it 7-11, then win the full eco, we could be looking at 8-11, and 8-11, that's a close scoreline. That's only 3 rounds apart, and if CAZ can win that initial gun round as well, this could be tied up here.
Endpoint keeping up the fight. They're looking to get themselves back into this one by re-upsetting CAZ, but it's going to be hard. They've got themselves these pistols, they've got the utility, so I'm really excited to see how much of an execute they pin down on towards the side, as it is going to be the initial smoke on towards CT, backed up by one, seemingly heading over towards stairs. There's going to be the counterplay to come out from the CAZ side though, and I'm just sitting right on the edge of my seat at this point, trying to see how they go about this one. As already the solar push through connector, one that's very, very easy to end as just bob on away, but they try and get themselves out. Just quick rush, going for that plant. The spray is going to come on in Dream. Not quite find the one he originally expects, but the second on towards Lazar, that's exactly what he was looking for. And one by one, Endpoint, they will fall clean and perfect from CAZ.
Bomb does go down. It's not the end of the world for Endpoint. You know, obviously not killing any of the CAZ players, so 5 will stay alive. So CAZ's economy will start to build, especially now that they're going to be going versus the non-armored opponents. But the bomb going down means they could buy some deagles here, potentially some armor as well. And Mighty Max, if he stays at 3,000, he can drop an AWP to Lazar going into that first buy round. And Lazar with the AWP, if he can get towards mid, try and find some running picks, that could really open up the game.
Yeah, those picks.
No, he opts to go for some pistol and armor. Not armor, sorry, pistol and nade. So we'll be seeing 5 rifles for Endpoint, so we could be seeing what we saw from CAZ do when they had no AWP. 4 smokes A, 1 player lurking towards connector, but anyway, let's go into the next round.
We've got to look at this one for now, of course. We've written off pistols many a time, and each time we walk away going, what on earth just happened, and why has this surprised us? But it's going to be JChem to bring back a bit of normality with the opening headshot on towards Aaron Ozzy to push up through short with Max. Trying to make this one look a little bit more comfortable. They will secure that bomb one. Well, now we're looking to see, can they do any surprising aggression that will net themselves a man advantage? The answer, well, it's going to be a bit of a slap in the face as Endpoint, one by one, they seem to be in dwindling numbers as they're trying to put on a bit of a show. But it's just him, one man, looking to really keep himself alive, but a dream swiftly to be snatched away from him. MCK going to find the defuse, and well, now we get to look at, instead of the future, the present, because we are in this round. That's pretty damn important when it comes down to setting the pace, because you have to remember, if Endpoint come up and win this one,
just look at their money, that even if Endpoint win it, CAZ can still buy in the following round. So even if this does go to the 12-8 and a CAZ win that round and reset, Endpoint can still be in their favor. So Endpoint, they do have the AWP on Lazar, as the bomb did go down and a few frags coming out as well. So how will Lazar use the AWP? Will they go for mid-control and try and get picks that way? Or will we see... Actually, no, Dream wins the AWP duel. Lazar goes for the pick, but Dream having the better spawn potentially will take Lazar down, and that might knock his confidence. Might be playing a little bit more passive as well, but Remember with the jump spot, we'll hear the players as well. Can he find a few kills here? Finds one. Doesn't quite get the replaces, and will take him down to get the trade.
Oh, the draw shot is absolutely perfect because he not only nets himself one, but is enough of a distraction-based element to really run down the time, allowing CAZ to get themselves set up towards market these crossfires, and most importantly, Dream with the AWP just really shutting down the distance and makes that space just so easy to be garnered as Dream. Well, he might find the first. Total is up to 3 in that round. Great performance from him with that AWP, and a lot of it comes off the back of the timing being brought on the site. If Dream couldn't get into that position in market and actually make sure that the T's were on the right side instead of the left side of that angle, he wouldn't have been able to do any of that.
Still was a 2 versus 3 though, so obviously having the utility in the kits as well, so they could have played the trade game and played the numbers advantage there. But anyway, moving on to this round, as I mentioned before, Endpoint's money wasn't too good, so they opted in for a potential force buy. No, so they're just going for the half fight, so they will have a buy into the next round. So potentially seeing 11-10 if CAZ can win that and then make Endpoint's money dwindle. We could be looking at 11-11, 11-12 potentially CAZ's favour, and Jacob with the first kill.
Certainly a theoretic to explore, as there's going to be a no-scope with Dreamer looking now to whip out the Deagle and add some more magic to it, as he will do just that, catches off Max, and one by one these pistols, they will fall, and any sort of investment they made doesn't really lead to too much. Yes, they connect the frag on towards Jacob. At the end of the day, the goal in that round would have ideally been to get a bomb plant just to really cement their economy, but that's really not what we're waiting to see. This is another round that we really kind of want to almost bawl our eyes out, because it's incredibly important for Endpoint. Because one of the points that we didn't really allude to too much was if Endpoint don't pick up these rounds, we're looking at CAZ building up so much economy that eventually it's going to be a tough task to really beat them down.
Oh no, this could be the first pick for Dream as well. Luzza won't be expecting the Kenny S jump. Does opt to fall off the angle, but can he get the play? Does get the play mid there. Doesn't reface this time. This is important. He won't allow Luz to get that refrag. And Aaron now an underpass. Can he make this a 4 versus 4?
It's going to be ever so slow, but at the same time ever so precise, and this could lead to his death in the same regard as Ozzy going to be looking to be a bit more elevated about this one, but Aaron, he's clocked onto it, but nonetheless still going to fall. It's a very unfortunate grave. Ezio back in towards underpass, so Endpoint, they are filling the gaps that are being punched on away from them. But you have to give credit to CAZ right now. Not only do they have themselves a 2-man advantage, but look at the map control from Endpoint. They pretty much have nothing to play with aside from mid.
The momentum after winning that pistol, that force by pistol, has really shaken Endpoint. Haven't managed to win the rounds following that, and this gun round as well looking like it's going to go in CAZ's favour unless something crazy happens. Listen, opening can come from Imi. If you can find one flank here, now it's only one player onto the A site. Can he hold the line? But Ozzy there finds one. Luzza's low HP, will potentially go down here. Bounces off Imi, takes him down, but Luzza gets the refrag. 1 versus 3.
Got himself that AWP, the old faithful, and looking to at least pick up this bomb. And if he holds these angles and is very patient about it, yes, he could net himself just a little bit more. But I'm still looking at this one with a more pessimistic approach, which is just 35 seconds.
Yeah, he might just opt to save this. Try and go for the B contact, walk with his scope out through ramp, try and find the A frag, get the bomb down, try and win the 1 versus 2 that way. Has a flash as well, so Pro doesn't want to flash too early, as he will give away his position, and now he has already given away his position. Take that back. All the CTs have to do now is not face.
Unfortunately, at this point, there is no take-backs. He's going to crumble.
It's a shame. I mean, Luz has had a great CT performance, and can he carry it through onto the T side? Now we have the gun run coming out. They are opting for the force buy. It will be no AWP for Luzza, so even though he's had a great CT half, we will not be seeing the AWP on him on the T side and a Tech 9 instead. So we could be seeing a fast B split through mid, or maybe just a fast B contact or fast towards B. Smoke off the what's it called, platform. Monitor towards van, flashes over and try to go that way.
I certainly think there's something to really remember though, is that Endpoint, they did this in the first half, they got themselves going and nothing could stop them. We're seeing a similar sort of thing right now for CAZ off the back of that original force up. It's got them so much steam and so much energy that it's just totaling up into a bit of an attempt, but 2 frags quick initially to be claimed off the back of that hard and fast aggression, which nets them not only the site,
yeah, they need to save right now.
Keep on trading, and CAZ, you've already called the save. At this point, I think that's all they really can do. If they try to gain any sort of ground, even get themselves on towards the short plateau, they're going to get shut down as Aaron holding an angle and Max right in from behind. Perfect spotting, but MCK is even further, nearly making a bit of a mess of things, but it will eventually be a frag for him to garner. But I'm looking at this one with a whole lot of pessimism.
The thing is, the reason they're still going for this is because CAZ have so much money, they can still buy into the next round. This is the first round that Endpoint will win, so each gun that's taken out of the T's hand is so much more important than if the CTs lose it, as Endpoint's money isn't too good. So if CAZ can win this round, they're going to reset Endpoint. They're looking at CAZ maybe closing out the map. But anyway, Endpoint playing that round very, very well. The B play does work in their favor. The Molotov towards B platform. Molotov balcony even. That's what it's called, balcony. There you go, mind going blank, what can I say? Molotov and balcony. Molotov towards van. Flashes come over. Flashes up. I believe it was Roma. That was towards B. He dies. Imi in mid as well gets that final kill onto Dream. And as soon as Dream goes down, they opt for the save.
think everyone just has to take stock of the fact that there is so much value for CAZ right now winning this round in comparison to Endpoint. It is going to be the initial aggressive peek over towards Ramp. Jacob, the man to pick things up first and starting it with a bang with that M4. How far are they willing to go? As Aaron already going to be taking some current control from Underpass. Lazar there with the AWP, but that smoke to go down somewhat limits him. And Dream, he's going to be facing this, but he's holding the angle. And this is so smart for him because he swats out the barrel. He gets the pick. And Endpoint, one by one, they are falling. And this is so tough for them because now where do they come back from this?
This is the problem. I mean, Endpoint, they're not really playing as a team. You have another player there in mid, have that player play Dalpan and watch B short, allow Lazar to hold connector. So he doesn't have to worry about all these angles. Instead, he unscopes. And when he rescopes, Dream is holding that angle, and Dream wins the AWP battle and takes him down. So two-man lead. If Endpoint lose this, they're on the reset.
That reset is going to be so uncomfortable for them, just such an unfortunate aspect of the way things are swung. Not only that, they have their work completely cut out from them. The target of choice is going to be that B side, but just look at the sheer amount of utility that's being thrown down to hold them off. Molotovs are plenty. They're even having some second thoughts now. Looks like they are going to run back over towards the A site. They should have an idea that there were 3 people on the site itself off the back of what utility was expended. So at least they are being smart about the way they're positioning themselves.
Off angle as well from, who is it there? Aroma as well. They wouldn't be expecting to play a sandwich. Can Dream get the first kill and make this a 5 versus 2?
If Dreamer finds the first and then falls back, it's good enough for him. He's going to find himself at least a tag, but how far is that going to go? As Dream will find the second shot on towards Max, but Ezio and Aaron, they will combine 2 picks for them, and this makes this much more doable now for this team side. Yes, there's a man advantage for CAZ. That advantage will come into play on the retake, but they go for a...
Yeah, not much time left, unfortunately for them. They couldn't really plant for CT because I think it was Jacob at CT, and then Aaron trying to find an entry towards jungle or connector, and we'll go down towards Aussie. Towards Aussie? From Aussie. So 12-12, Endpoint now on the reset. They do go for the force buy. Wow, this is quite ballsy there. Lazar will have the AWP, so he needs to be God's gift right now with this AWP. He needs to find a pick, maybe playing a B contact off his AWP. If he catches the player jump peeking, they can find the opening and win the run that way.
A lot of pressure stacked onto one man's shoulders. Let's see if he can at least live up to the hype, as it looks like he's going to go towards that pick. Get himself up on that box, but the nade is going to land at his feet. 49 HP is the number to be screamed. And albeit it's nothing too major, but it's already a bit of a negative point to start things off, as now the defensive Molotov is going to be thrown on down. Roma looking to hold this one out. He has the information. He knows what is coming. He finds the headshot. Dream to find the frag on towards Lazar, and nothing is being done. Ezio going to try and respond and rekindle this round off the back of a Tech-9 play. But even then, it's just so difficult to handle. They're going to plant in that smoke. The push is going to begin to take some shape, and Aaron with the AWP being a little bit more impactful. Overall, this is one they can actually try and work with now, but even then, CAZ, they are hot on the hills, they are pushing on in. Can they hold up against this heat? Mistaken with the M4. Too much pressure. It's going to be complete and utter strangulation.
Endpoint, they're losing the force buy, so it will be 13-12 in favor of CAZ, and now the eco will come up for Endpoint. 14-12, and only 2 rounds apiece, so still a very, very close game, but look at the money on CAZ. They can keep buying for the rest of this game. There's only 4 rounds left. They can buy every single round, I believe. Maybe not, maybe not. Maybe if they lose 2 in a row. But even then, they have 2 chances, 3 chances, including this round, to win. You know, they will win this round as well because the full eco come out for Endpoint. That will stack some more cash.
But I think there's a point that has to be highlighted at this point. I want to look back at how this all started for CAZ, how they began to really kind of be able to build up this fire. That force buy, it built them so much because you look at the rounds they swung together, 6 in a row. Then yes, Endpoint, they snuck in 1, but unfortunately 1, that is not. It doesn't lead to much. There is no net gain for them because they got smashed back down again. It's almost a bit of a game of just, you know, whacking a hole.
It's not just that, but it always feels like CAZ have the opening picks. Always going in their favor. Endpoint, Dream will find Aaron there in mid, but as I've mentioned before, you know, Endpoint here, maybe opting to try to get that bomb down, but that's really the best he can get here unless a miracle can happen. Molly will go underpass, and now they're going to have to run into Dream top.
Very ballsy of him to peek that, and it will eventually lead to Jacob's death over towards stairs, but my concern is going to be them losing the AWP, but Dreamer too quick on the trigger, catches off Ezio as he tries to go up close and personal for a bit of a friendly hug.
Does Lazar go for the AWP by no armor? No, he will go for AK, so this could be smoke towards A and have a player lock towards connector. This could win for them. This could be the change of pace, the change of setup, the smoke's coming out, and the close range duels. Can they get the trades going in favor of them? Can they win the run that way?
I think, as you say, the rifles, it's just so much better. That change of tempo overall is something that CAZ aren't going to be used to. But then look at Dream again. He's going for the same old peak, not quite going to make the timing work, but he's not looking for that first pick. He's looking for the second, and he's practically being given to it on a nice silver-based platter. The second on towards Lazar. This is beautiful from Dreamer, so artistic in the way he's approaching it. As now MCK, the off angle nets him, the opening pick on towards Timmy. We do see the response from the T side, but it's almost like trying to put wood on already burnt out fire. A 2v3 is going to be on the cards. The push is somewhat taking place over towards the A site.
It's a nice flash.
The flash is going to be nice, garnering Ezio a bit more of an opportunity, but Roma.
Here's the bomb as well, and Max might not be expecting him to go already towards ramp. Could hear the footsteps close now. Well, goes for the white plate to win the duel. Yes, he does. Gets the headshot to Mighty Max. And it's going to be 15-12. Match point now for CAZ. Endpoint. Money is dwindling. And the no op there. I mean, let's talk about the opening picks there. Dream making the Kenny's jump onto V short. Gets the early frags there onto Aaron and Lazar. And has so much confidence as well. Even runs up mid. Even if he dies, he doesn't care.
I kind of want to talk about that as well, though, because it's not the first time he's done that, let alone the second. Surely there should be something.
Max jumped, he spotted him as well. You saw him spam the short smoke.
There's just so much left to say, but we'll touch on that in a second. There's already the bloodbath. It's going to begin to really formulate into one hell of a, well, a pulping effect. Lazar and Aaron will combine to at least make this one much more contestable. The drinks, they are already going down as your belief has sapped. We've seen a player leave the server. That pretty much sums things up in a nutshell. Lazar and Aaron, they're going to try and clutch things out. It is that 2v2, and well, by sheer manpower alone, it is possible. They get themselves the bomb plant, so hey, I don't know why people are throwing these drinks down, why people are disbelieving, because they can actually make this one work, providing they can hit the shots, as Lazar already playing around the smoke over towards Sandwich, but Roma.
Come on, Lazar, you can do this. Flashes out, goes for the reface. Okay, I take that back. Well, Dream will op him, and Lazar will go down. Imi leaving the server instantly, probably not too happy, especially after he may have been tilted from that thing that happened in the last map.
I don't know if I want to use the word tilted.
Well, in the last map,
I want to dig deeper.
That's what I'm trying to go to. The pause, obviously, the round in the middle of that wasn't really playing, could have been playing in Imi's mind. But anyway, another win for CAZ here, 16-12 this time, and